A very good morning to you, our Smart 24 viewers. Of course, this is Smart Means Business. Today is Tuesday, the 13th of February, 2024. It's exactly 7 and 2 minutes just past the 8. And today we're going to be talking about how technology can solve logistic problems to enhance import trade. And of course, when you look at all these logistics at the end of the day, has so many ways it has helped trade that back in the day we didn't have technology, but now technology is helping us in so many ways, and you find that it is better to import your goods and actually monitor them in so many ways. And of course, I'm joined with Masika Sine. Good morning to you, Masika.
Well, it's a very good morning to you, Charlotte, and our dear viewer is just tuned in to Smart 24 TV. We drive your business here every day from Monday to Friday, 24/7. Listen, we're always here to keep you updated in the line of business. And of course, talking about our issue today on how technology can enhance import trade. Yeah, talking about logistics, movement, transportation of goods from the supply, it's the whole supply chain.
Yes.
Well, you realize before technology came into shape, well, logistics was into place, but then there was a lot of, I must say, there was no monitoring of goods.
Yes.
Someone has their goods, they ship them. They don't know how long they would get here, if the person...
They don't know how far it has gone.
Yeah, how far it has gone, if the person has received them in good condition. So now, with the new technologies that we have, now we have the global trade identity. It helps to remove barriers to digital cross-borders and, of course, eliminates hidden costs. Yeah, for everyone managing multiple digital identities. So this program helps both governments and business people. So it is there to remove those barriers. So technology is really good. It's important because at the end of the day, you keep updated. You track, it's like a tracker. You know the process. If it has reached the final, the person you're shipping to now, we're talking about shipments, logistics, the goods from overseas and all that. So definitely I feel there has been a lot of hindrances before the technology came in, the whole process, the custom process of registration and all that, verification. Yeah, so, but now it's easier. You go online, fill in the forms and have all the transactions made online.
Most of the people had to be live on ground to actually have their goods come into the country, or they would have to follow the good wherever it goes. But at the end of the day, you also see nowadays the customers get to go to the factories. They get to know the actual prices rather than being cheap. And they get to monitor the goods from where they're coming from until to them, the consumers. And they would actually get to know if there are any effects or side effects of the good that is going to be brought in the future. So at the end of the day, you see that there is also flexibility. It is helping organizations that can use logistics technology and adapt quickly to changing market conditions. The market is changing every day.
Yeah.
Today you can buy this shirt and tomorrow it is not on market, and the next day it is on market. So before you know it, it actually helps for you to be updated in so many ways.
Of course, however, there are challenges of transportation costs.
Yes.
Yeah, transportation costs from the time they set off the cargo or the whatever you're waiting for, yeah. The fuel prices. Not talking about now within our country, Uganda, movement from our country, Uganda. Now, when the prices of fuel are high, that means it's going to be costly. Yeah. By the time, it's like a whole supply chain. It begins from the producer to the supplier to the transport, then to the final consumer. Now, when the fuel prices are high, in most cases, it affects us, the final consumers, because now the person who's producing is going to transport them, and the driver is going to increase the price.
Yeah.
By the time it gets to the final consumer, the price of the products have increased.
Yes.
Yeah, so that is also one of the problems that we can really not rule out, the transportation costs that hinder logistics into our very country, Uganda.
Yeah, speaking of transportation costs, a recent report that you actually read for us last time for the pirates that are actually attacking the ships that are actually coming this side. People were actually able to be communicated to. So you were waiting for your goods to get to you in 13 days, but now it's going to take 48 days. So communication also actually helped with the consumer to actually know from the person who is bringing the goods to the market. So at the end of the day, you find that communication is getting now. And the people don't have to get worried and say, oh, my goods are supposed to be here in 14 days. Why are they not yet here? But at least now they can check online and know exactly what is happening.
Yeah, and anyway, we can't rule out the fact that the Red Sea, you know, the pirates and all that have brought the delay. And of course, also one of the challenges that people usually face are the delivery delays due to weather conditions, unpredicted weather conditions. Then there is traffic congestion. That also leads to delay of supply of goods. Like I said, it's a whole supply chain. So you can imagine if a trader expects goods on the 14th and they come in on the 18th, it's going to be something that's going to happen in the market. Yeah.
Just like when you're importing something that is on the market at that moment, and you know within 10 to 15 days it's going to be here, and within those days it's not yet here. That means by the time those goods get here, just like someone who ordered for goods that are supposed to be sold on Christmas and they get here in February or January, so that means the person has made a total big loss. But also we see that the supply chain, the transparency allows business and consumers to understand how goods are produced and distributed.
Well, of course, right there, the URA reports a 20% reduction in average customs clearance time between 2017 and 2021. And of course, this has helped in improvement that can be attributed in part to the implementation on online teams. Yeah, so URA has been working hard, you know, with tracking, on delivery of goods, and of course URA also estimates that their electronic single window systems are the systems that have been put in place, which facilitates online submission of trade documents, has saved businesses worth over 110 billion, that is 2.7 million annually in clearance fees. Well, it's easier actually when you're doing things online. You don't need to go to the URA offices and move the offices that are not in place. So it helps. You send your documents online, you clear online, and you're ready to go.
This will actually help to reduce on corruption in the country. At the end of the day. Because the process where you have to pay an official to actually help your goods enter and what, no, you just have to pay online. If you're supposed to pay 2 million, you pay 2 million. You don't have to say, no, let me pay you 1 million, then I give you like a 200 on the side. So it will help.
The people that evade taxes, people pay this actually. Those are one of the reasons as to why we're still lagging behind. Someone accounts for very few items, and the rest they can negotiate. They can negotiate among us.
But you have to enter your goods into the system, and an official has to come and check.
And of course, right now there is a lot of smuggling, if you didn't know, in Uganda, mostly at the cargo area.
Yes, a lot of it.
A lot of it.
You can find someone who has brought in bras, but those bras have powder in them at the end of the day that is going to be sold on the black market here. Which is also not good for the economy in the country, because at the end of the day, people are going to be using drugs a lot, and it will not be good. But of course, we see lower costs, productivity, enhancing technology, lowers costs while also boosting services. There's reduced reliance on human interaction. But this means some people would have to lose their jobs. Because if they've been having over 10 deaths of ladies or
customer care service,
they're taking care of them, and now you have to use the online system. That means they just need 2 or 3 people to be there and reduce the 7 that were there.
And then of course it reduces congestion also in the company, people crowding and all that. You just finish your documentation and you send and you're ready to receive at the end of the day. So technology has helped a lot in logistics, in transparency, the blockchain, and of course also protecting data for people. But anyway, before, of course, we shall be talking more about this. Over the weekend, a very renowned a businessman who was the CEO of Access Bank in Nigeria, yes, died in a plane crash. Yeah, and Herbert Wingwe. Yeah, he was the CEO. He was a partner. Him and his other partner. Of course, he died when he was going to see the Super Bowl over the weekend. Yeah, those that are into NFL, yeah, and then football, American football. Yeah, and of course, he has been a great mentor for most people, those who are into business, most especially the young. Yeah, and of course, very soon he was hoping to have a university that is going to facilitate young bankers and people who are into youth that love accounting.
It's really sad how good people are actually the ones who die, and we have those ones.
Yeah, he was young actually, 50 years. Yeah. Yes, so young. And it's good. He got this at 36. So at least he has enjoyed enjoyed something.
At least there was time for him to actually.
Yes.
But also, we have the marathon record holder, Kip Toon,
who died
also. So, you know, usually when the year is starting, it usually goes with so many people. And when it's ending, it goes with so many.
But you see, he was a record holder. At least for him, he has run his race. Okay, fine. He has been running his race, but he ran his final race. Well, to meet the father, but it's good. At least he's known for something. Yeah. Yes, it's better to be known for something.
Well, we should work very hard to leave a legacy behind. It is very important for your kids, your grandkids, and everything. They're like, oh, you're the grandchildren of so and so. So at the end of the day, it is very good for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we also see using AI in transportation logistics can also reduce cost and improve data accuracy. So just like we had said earlier on, there's no way you're going to go around it and say, let me pay for only 10 goods when you have 20. So the accuracy, of course, is going to be there, and the data has to be entered in the system correctly. Companies can automate tasks such as package pickup and inventory management.
Yeah. When you know want to go around and they help me smuggle something. Yeah, there's also that thing. You may use the I may have a cargo company. I have my cargo company, and I'm like, you know what? I have extra. Nyambako. Yakutemerako. You know, because people.
But also, when you look at what most of the Ugandans are doing, the officials themselves say, even if the Ugandan wants to pay the actual taxes that are being asked for, you find that the person who is supposed to pay 10 million is being asked to pay 200 million, and you ask how, because these officials know at the end of the day you'll not be able to pay the 200 million. You'll be like, let me give you 5 million and then find a way to help me out of this problem. It's really sad. Well, we're fighting corruption and people are always finding a way here and there.
Yeah.
Well, of course.
It's just 16 minutes past 7 a.m. and this is the time we get to see what is happening into the press. Well, as Uganda hopes to provide 2 million jobs now, over thousands have at the verge of losing their jobs after 90 factories have been shut down. Well, what is happening in the tea factory? What is happening in the tea industry? Is it not performing? Are the standards not good? Do you still take tea like Majani?
Majani usually makes my uncles wake up, so I usually don't take it.
Okay. High production costs put 100,000 jobs at risk. Oh, okay. Well, and of course, U.S. envoy advises Uganda on readmission into AGOA, the Twagala. But anyway, it's a good thing with it. Well, I didn't see a reason as to why there had to be a fuss over this. Really? It is our choice as a country. Okay?
It is.
It is our choice as a country. So whoever feels the need to go and practice can go out and practice. Tetuganye. Yes.
But of course, here we are seeing hackers target telecom banks.
Oh, good.
Yes, and Uganda Communications Commission, the sector regulator, confirms that banks and telecoms were targeted, but said they were informed that the attackers failed to breach the barriers.
Now, and that is why I'm seeing a suspected mobile money hacker. 800 robbers arrested in what?
Is this why we keep seeing money disappear on our phones? You have 100,000, you withdraw 20,000. When you check again, you usually have 30 or 40,000. This has been happening.
There is a lot of fraud. I think this has to be addressed. This issue has to be addressed. Now, just imagine a mobile money agent, and I now call millions of money.
And they took all that money. But if they are targeting the telecoms and the banks, that means our money is not safe wherever it is from now.
So people, when they get your cash, withdraw it all. That is if they don't follow you up and take it.
Yes.
Withdrawing your money.
But of course, we see government probes sale of blood in hospital. But we give this blood for free. Why do they sell it to people?
Because it's scarce.
Yes, it is.
You realize, by the way, I've seen, yes, they keep, but then people are not willing to give them Simon. Because at the end of the day, they know they're going to pay. You have, okay, if you're a donor, you can take in your card and they whatever. Or maybe if your family member has been donating, they can help you if they have a card. Then why do we need to buy? I think it's scarce. Blood can be scarce. Because now, listen, it's used in operations, people who have accidents. So, yeah, and do you know how many people die? I mean, get accidents on a daily? So many. So,
but at the end of the day, personally,
I think
they used to give us sodas when you go and donate blood. But usually, when I get there and the crate of soda is not there, I don't give them blood.
Well, they say I'm sorry. I have little to spray in my body.
Yeah.
Well, still here looking at over 100,000 jobs at stake as 9 factories close. Well, Uganda's once thriving tea industry is facing challenges with several factories shutting down, leaving a bitter taste in the mouths of farmers and industry stakeholders. Now, 9 factories out of the 24 have already shut down, including 4 which are owned by smallholder tea associations.
Well, of course, we've been joined with Andrew on the streets of Kampala to tell us more about the traffic. Good morning, Andrew.
It's raining.
Thank you, Charlotte and Massey, and definitely coming live here, the Wandiga traffic lights, observing the traffic atmosphere. And according to my observation, still, if I'm getting to see, it's about 5 to 10 minutes jam, whereby you will be held. So you have to be ready to be patient for about 5 to even 15 minutes, yes, to reach that extent. And firstly, in my observation, let's take a look at the Makerere Hill Road as we get to observe the traffic atmosphere right there. Remember, that is one of the routes that have quite a huge lane of traffic lights. It's heavily inflated with traffic lights. For example, at the Apollo Road Junction, there is a set of traffic lights coming towards the Makerere University main gate. There is also a set of traffic lights, and that is also accompanied with the final traffic lights here at this junction here in Wandiga. So that explains why, if you're coming from areas like Kasubi, you're coming from areas like Nakulabye, and your destination is probably Mulago, you will be delayed a bit for about 20 to 30 minutes before you can reach your destination, because remember, there has to be a balance of the vehicles on both routes, those coming in from Kampala Road linking up with the Bombo Road, and those from Bombo Road linking up to the city center. So you'll have to be patient because the traffic officers have to create a best balance. So the time value here is about 20 minutes if you're still home at this particular time, and it is anticipated to get much more worse because we can clearly see that the rains are taking effect. That is this week. Even yesterday around this particular time, we had quite heavy rains falling and affecting the traffic atmosphere. So that is the situation. If you're coming in from actually if you're coming in from areas like Kasubi and areas like Nakulabye, and your destination is Mulago, well, you'll be delayed a bit. Unless for those that are heading towards the city center, that is quite effective. You will be able to get the right alternative. You could actually think about heading towards using the Bakuli route as you're heading to the city center. That one, when I passed by, it wasn't really heavily congested as the rest of the roads. Now, of course, we take our eyes to the Bomba Road, seeing one of those routes that have had quite a fairly congested lane this morning. Of course, taking a look at a number of vehicles, and this is a majority of public vehicles making the biggest percentage as compared to the private vehicles. And of course, that largely is explained by the people that stay, the residents in those areas. That is along Bomba Road, talking about Matuga side, talking about Maganja side, and so many more of those routes. So you will have to be patient for still about 10 minutes of jam. And for those, if you're still on quite a long way, it might even get much more worse than that. But it's quite fairly congested as compared to other routes, according to my observation. And the later it goes, the worse it might get to. And now switching eyes, taking a look at now people that are coming in from Mulago side, Kamocha side. For example, you could be approaching towards the Mulago roundabout side. Yes, it's quite fairly congested. So if you're coming in from Kamocha, you're coming in from Bukoto side, and you're probably coming to the city center, well, the one day around the Mulago roundabout, actually, when I passed by, it was not really as much of a problem as it normally is on some days. And these rains are not much enough to ensure that there is massive flooding like it normally happens on certain days when the rains are quite heavy, and that flooding quite causes a huge big congestion at that side. So if you're coming in from Kamocha side, coming in from Bukoto side, and you're using that route heading to Mulago, well, it's not really quite congested. You will just spend about roughly just like 7 to 10 minutes actually, which the time you will spend in that jam before you're set free to execute the business or even report to work, because the standard time at most of the workplaces is normally 8 a.m. But right now, if you're just setting off, chances are high that you won't be able to make it. Of course, you will be late by about 30 minutes. According to my estimations here. So that is how it is standing right about now. You have to be patient for about 5, 7, maximum 10 minutes before you're set free to head to another destination. Well, as now we approach our eyes towards Kampala Road, taking a look at vehicles that are coming in all the way from the Mulago side, from Kamocha side, Bukoto side, and they have all linked up to this route, and they are probably heading to the city center. It's quite because remember, the route that is heading to the city center is feeding quite a huge number of routes here. It's feeding vehicles from Makere Road, it's feeding vehicles from Bomba Road, and also at the same time feeding vehicles that are coming all the way from the Mulago side route. So that kind of creates a sort of an imbalance in terms of movement, but Kampala Road is actually safe. We have to observe critically very well heading to that side. Same applies to those that are coming in from Kampala, and you're coming to the different destinations. You're probably heading to Kamocha side. You're coming in from the city center, you're heading to Kamocha side to probably walk, because those areas are not only residential, but they also contribute big when it comes to people heading there to execute businesses. Some people actually have offices in those specific premises. So that clearly explains to us the situation we're observing. Now, finally, let's observe with Kampala Road. Yes, like I told you, it's feeding quite a huge number of these routes coming in from the different destinations heading to the city center. It's fairly congested as they are set free. There is quite a free balance ahead of there as people proceed to town to execute business. And that brings us to the traffic report this particular morning. I've been Andrew Barija coming live here at the Wandegate traffic light junction. And the situation is quite fair in terms of that, most especially for those along the Makere Hill Road. It's quite a big issue. And then Bombo Road is also heavily congested. That is for the people that are coming in from Matuga, Maganja side, and so many of those areas along that road. At this particular time, let me take you back to studio at plot 42 Nile Avenue with Charlotte and Masi Katsime. Stick around.
So much, Andrew, and anyone who is home right now, it is actually drizzling, and most Ugandans, when it was dripping on the rooftop, you feel like, oh my God, let me cover myself again. Get out of bed, get to work, do not cover yourself. We're going to take a very short break, and of course, we'll be back with Karibu East Africa. Do not change the channel.